there are times when people do things, and I'm like, really? What did you expect? It is said that insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. It could also be extended to say insanity is doing what others did and expecting a different result. The Lord sent Moses to confront Pharaoh, to tell him to let the Lord's children go. The Pharaoh hardened his heart, and the Lord released 10 plagues upon him. And eventually, when the Egyptians let the Israelites go and decided to go recapture the Israelites, the Egyptian army, got crushed by the Red Sea. So it shows it is pointless, it is potentially deadly to try to resist God's will, to vehemently oppose him. By the third plague, the plague of lice or gnats, even Pharaoh's men told him, this is the hand of God. That was a cease and desist order. But the Pharaoh refused. He kept on hardening his heart. So any person today who's doing the same thing as Pharaoh, where they know what the Lord's will is, but they're trying to oppose it, why would they expect anything different than what Pharaoh got? King Saul, it came to a point where he knew the Lord had anointed David to be his successor. Yet Saul in his rebellion kept on trying to kill David. Among other stuff, to include going to see a witch, things the Lord had told the Israelites not to do. So he was opposing God's will by trying to kill David. And then he opposed God's will by going to see a witch. Why do people engage in witchcraft today and expect something different from what Saul got, which was eventually death? The wages of sin is still death. But also part of this message, I see countries, and those countries want to implement policies that have been tried in other countries. And in some cases, the policies they want to implement, every time it's been tried in another country, it has failed miserably. And as a Christian, you must look and say, this has to be demonic. Why would this leader think by doing the same thing another leader in another country did, it's going to work? Oh, it's going to work here? What made it didn't work? Why is it didn't work there? So people doing things, repeating history. And it's said that if we do not learn from history, we will continue making the mistakes from times past. So again, it is utter insanity for people to keep on doing things and expecting a different result, or wanting to do things that others tried and failed. I understand sometimes people do things and maybe they didn't get it quite right. And by God's grace, someone is able to get it. But some things have been proven a failure. It may sound good to some at the onset, but eventually it's going to lead to destruction. And as Scripture tells us, there's a way that seems right unto man, but the end thereof leads unto destruction. So if the end leads to death or destruction, why would you want to do what others did and not expect to get what they got? God bless you, and Jesus Christ is Lord.